when we start to think that people are perfect, then we can't look at them, love them, and provide the grace while holding them to a level of excellence.
Hi, my name's Devin. Today I own several multi-million-dollar companies. We started with $5,000 in a credit card. I don't know the easy way. I only know the hard way.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Whiteboard Entrepreneur Podcast, where I give straightforward advice to fuel the entrepreneur in all of us. Today I want to talk about having realistic expectations of the people that work for you. And I think this is super important because as leaders, as entrepreneurs, as business people, we have a lot of people that work for us, a lot of people that report to us, and we carry a lot of mental weight of those folks and the responsibility, and we care for them. And we really want the best for them, or at least you should. But we oftentimes end up getting hurt by our employees. And I'm going to tell you, most of the time, this becomes our fault that we're getting hurt. And I've learned this lesson over the years because I've learned that as leaders, we start to have this very idealistic and non-realistic view of people, and that we expect and demand perfection. Now, here's the thing. Don't hear what I'm not saying. Hold a degree of excellence in your organization. Like, we shouldn't let stuff slip, right? Like, it's your job as a leader to hold the bar of excellence and to call people out on their BS, call people out on things when they're not acting correctly, when they're breaking policy, when they're doing things wrong. It's your job, right? You have to hold that level of excellence. Otherwise, your organization is going to go to garbage. But what I'm talking about here is understanding mentally that people are people, right? And that people are not perfect, and that you're not perfect. And so I get a call not too long ago from a friend of mine that says, "Hey, D, I had this person, I thought they were a great worker. I thought they were super loyal, and they said they were sick for like 2 or 3 days. And then I find out they're at the beach. Can you believe it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I can absolutely believe it." And they're like, "What?" I'm like, "Dude, I know you." I'm like, "You're 45 years old now. You're the leader of this company, but I knew you when you were 25 years old. And I knew you would have done the same thing back then." And they're like, well, times are different. And these millennials and blah, 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 and millennials and this and that and the other. And we do this all the time. We start to paint pictures of people because they're a millennial, or back when I would have never done this, or that's just, I'm just indignant in the way that people are, right? And we start to have this unrealistic view of people. And here's the thing, that's not okay that they did that, right? Like, that person needs to be called out. But like, as a leader, if you carry that emotional baggage and you're hurt by that, and all of a sudden you feel so let down, like, that's just part of the job. And we have to get over it. And we have to realize that, listen, that's part of the job, is us holding people accountable and realizing that they're not perfect, right? But our job is to help them become better and to hold that degree of excellence. One of my favorite one of my favorite movies is Mean Girls. Don't tell anyone. And I know this is probably going to hurt my reputation, but I love the movie Mean Girls. Listen, I know there's like a lot of great life lessons in there, and it's just funny, right? So I'm just going to get out there. I'm not ashamed to admit it. Love Mean Girls. But during Mean Girls, one of my favorite scenes is when all the girls are like super indignant, and then they get them in the gym and they say, "All right, who here has ever had someone say something mean about them or spread a rumor?" And every girl goes, "Me." You're right. And everyone's like, "Yeah, people always say bad things about me," right? And then they say, "Okay, who here in this room has ever said something mean about somebody else, one of their friends?" And then every single person, slowly starts to be honest and raises their hand. And then say, "All right, look around," right? And there's so much truth to that in our lives, right? Like, as leaders, we get so upset because we find an email where someone's talking crap about you, the CEO, or you find out that someone leaves your company and goes to the competition. And we just become so enraged and indignant because, I dare they, right? Can you believe that they said that about me? Yeah, I can believe that they said that about you because you've said something bad about your boss at some point in the life. I know that I have. I know I'm a boss now. I know people say bad things about me. I don't like it, but I've learned to just realize that, listen, they're people. And I know that I've said dumb things. I've said bad things about my bosses back in the day. And it doesn't mean that that's how I really feel about them. It doesn't mean that, maybe I did feel that way, but I changed, right? And at the same time, maybe they were a bad boss. I don't know. Maybe you're a bad boss. Maybe you need to learn from it. But we have to get over this idealistic view of like that everyone's going to be perfect, act perfect, do perfect things, follow the policies, do everything exactly right. Can you believe that they broke dress code again? Yes, I can believe that they broke dress code again for the 4th time because you used to do that too when you were 30 years old. I remember all the write-ups in your file, right? And that's how it is, right? And so we have to understand, just like with our kids, right? Like you have teenagers and you go, well, we act like, well, when I was a teenager, I would have never done that. Oh, that's bull crap. Ask your parents, right? You are a nightmare teenager, right? You're a nightmare employee. And so when we start to think that people are perfect, then we can't look at them, love them, and provide the grace while holding them to a level of excellence. And that's the balance, right? If you're going to be a great leader, you have to be able to provide grace to people and realize that they're not perfect, but your job is to help raise their degree of excellence. Every year, raise them up. And we can't do that if we get emotionally hurt and just enraged every time someone breaks a policy, every time someone says something bad about you. You're not going to be able to function. You're not going to be able to do your job, which is to help these people go to the next level in their life, to raise them up in excellence. I'm Devin. This is Whiteboard Entrepreneur, and this is hard, right? This is hard stuff because it hits us personally sometimes. But we have to realize and grow past that as a leader. And when you do, you'll be a better leader, better entrepreneur, better business person. This is Whiteboard Entrepreneur Podcast. I know it'll help.